Hello and welcome to K-Papa News. Yesterday at 4 p.m., a school shooting erupted at Matao International School in Taipa. A string of gunshots were fired at Matao International School, just as school was about to end. 14-year-old Jin Gui was unlucky enough to get caught in the crossfire and received multiple fatal gunshots to the chest.
大家好，我係你老母。Today we learn about meanders in geography class. Alright. 你有咩睇到答啦？你呢個 date is 1989, 6th of June。快啲啦！你個咩人係咪打飛機啊？你做乜嘢？哇操！Run, dude.
Two other students were also caught in the crossfire. The suspect is a Form 3 student, Si Yak, who fled right after the shooting and was apprehended by the police this morning at 7:45 a.m. Our lead chief superintendent, Lo Gui, is at Matao International School in Taipa. Lo Gui, how and why did this happen?
Well, to be frank, we don't really have a clue to what really triggered him to start shooting in the first place. We haven't come to an exact conclusion yet, but we speculate that Yak was dealing with all sorts of mental disorders, such as anxiety, immense pressure, and depression. We even found antidepressant pills in his backpack, which were described by his doctor. He also were prescribed these pills since last year, so he's been dealing with all these emotions and problems for so long. Our lead detective investigated the CCTV footage from inside the school, which shows everything that happened from the moment Yak walked into school campus to the moment he pulled out his handgun. The student acted very naturally during school. No one could have suspected a thing. However, it was during geography class where things started to unravel. The student would repeatedly look into his backpack and tense up constantly. This is because it is where he stored his handgun, which he used to shoot everybody. Then it finally happened. The student quickly whipped out his handgun and began firing. Students began fleeing left, right, and center for their lives, heading straight for the door. Unfortunately, 2 students and the geography teacher were severely injured, and one of the students sadly perished. Currently, we have Yak in custody. The victims are Nick, James, and Jin, 2 of which survived, mentioned previously, but were gravely injured, and as mentioned before, it was sadly Jin who didn't make it.
A series of unfortunate events has occurred in Macau, such as the SARS crisis. This is the first ever school shooting that ever occurred in Macau. Our future plan is to increase security and our safetyness of the schools, whether they're public or private.
It was a really difficult situation for us for what happened in our school. I have no choice but to increase security for our own safety measures. That means that everyone will have their backpacks checked upon entry to our school, even our faculty staff. We will also install metal detectors in the entrance of our school, along with every single hallway. And we will also have increased guards, some even equipped with firearms.
Mr. Gam Chow, are you afraid that more school shootings will occur just like this one?
Yes, I'm afraid that more school shootings will occur like this one, and it will impact the future of Macau. And our goal is to implement safety measures to prevent this horrible event to ever happen again.
Well, that seems quite logical, I'd say. Well, since these events are directly targeting on kids, do you think that parents will be discouraged to bring their kids to school since it's dangerous?
I think that their parents will be discouraged to bring their child to schools because they don't want their child to get hurt or even worse.
Alright. Well, yeah, that seems quite logical as well. Well, here's my last question. We know that it was a child who was in Form 3. Do you have any leads on how this child may have gotten his hands on this weapon?
Well, we're not quite sure yet. We're trying to investigate how he got his hands on the handgun.
Well, that's it for me, and thanks for watching.